Welcome to this course titled Basic Elements of Planning. This is a second-year course primarily designed for students in urban and regional planning, remote sensing and geoinformatics, and estate management. The course provides foundational knowledge about planning, covering models, processes, techniques, and the structure of human settlements. We will examine how cities, towns, and villages evolve, how planners use models to predict or guide development, and how urban and regional structures fit into the global system. The course is divided into two modules. Module 1, Planning Models and the Planning Process. Module 2, Human Settlements, Urban Structure, and the Global Urban System. Let us begin with Module 1. Module 1, Planning Models and the Planning Process. 1.1 Meaning of planning. Planning can be described as the process of making decisions about the future and organizing resources to achieve desired goals. In urban and regional planning, it involves shaping the growth, development, and management of human settlements to meet economic, social, and environmental needs. Planning is not guesswork, it is systematic, involving analysis, prediction, and decision-making. It helps societies move from the present state to a preferred future. 1.2 Planning Models. To make planning more scientific, planners use models. A model is simply a simplified representation of reality. Models help planners analyze, describe, predict, and even prescribe actions in complex systems. Planning models can be broadly divided into analog and symbolic models. 1.2.1 Analog Models. Analog models are physical or visual representations. They are often used to simulate real-world conditions. For example, a scaled map of a city or a 3D physical model of a housing estate can help visualize spatial arrangements and potential developments. Analog models are useful for communication and demonstration. They help stakeholders understand proposed changes before they are implemented. 1.2.2 Symbolic Models. Symbolic models, unlike analog models, use abstract forms such as diagrams, mathematical formulas, or written descriptions. Symbolic models are further divided into three main types. Descriptive models, these explain how things are. For instance, a land use map that shows how residential, commercial, and industrial areas are distributed is descriptive. Predictive models, these estimate how things might change in the future. For example, population projection models help predict how many people will live in a city in the next 20 years. Planning models, or prescriptive models, these focus on what should be done. They suggest the best ways to achieve certain objectives. For example, a transport model that shows the best routes for reducing traffic congestion is a planning model. Together, these models help planners understand existing conditions, anticipate future trends, and design effective interventions. 1.3 The Planning Process. Planning is systematic and usually follows a set of stages. While different scholars describe it in various ways, the process generally includes the following steps. Problem recognition. Planning begins by identifying issues or challenges. This could be traffic congestion, housing shortages, environmental degradation, or uncoordinated land use. Goal setting. Once problems are identified, planners define goals and objectives. For example, improving housing quality, reducing poverty, or promoting sustainable transportation. Data collection and analysis. Planners gather relevant information, such as maps, population data, economic statistics, and environmental reports, to understand the situation. Analysis helps reveal trends, relationships, and constraints. Modeling and projection. Using the collected data, planners apply models to predict future conditions. For instance, they might project population growth and simulate its impact on land use and infrastructure. Plan formulation. At this stage, alternative strategies are developed. Planners design possible interventions, such as land use plans, housing schemes, or transport policies. Evaluation of alternatives. The proposed plans are weighed against criteria like cost, feasibility, environmental impact, and social benefits. Stakeholders may be consulted to choose the most suitable option. Plan implementation. Once approved, the chosen plan is put into action. This may involve construction projects, regulatory changes, or investment in public services. Monitoring and feedback. Planning does not end with implementation. Planners monitor progress, evaluate outcomes, and adjust strategies when necessary. This makes planning a continuous and flexible process. 1.4 Techniques in planning activities. Several techniques support the planning process. These include mapping and GIS, used for spatial analysis and visualization. Statistical analysis, for interpreting population, economic, and environmental data. Surveys and field studies, to collect primary data from communities. Cost-benefit analysis, to evaluate the economic feasibility of projects. Scenario building, to consider multiple possible futures and plan accordingly. These techniques help planners make informed and evidence-based decisions.